السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today inshallah we will start Surah Maida. This surah is also a Madani surah, and in this surah, as far as the introduction is concerned, there is a beautiful hadith of Hazrat Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu with Hazrat Jubair, that in this hadith Hazrat Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu says that whatever Allah make it halal, you should eat it. Whatever Allah make it haram, you should quit it. And also you should recite this surah. Also in this surah there is a significant amount of discussion about halal and haram, continued discussion with the Jews and Christians, and some more foundation for the Sharia of Islam. Allah has also given us the beautiful gift of tayammum in case when we could not find water. Also the story of Habil and Qabil will be addressed along with the background, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also has emphasized in this surah that how important it is that you are obligated to have the true belief, and you need to work, make sure that you get the correct and authentic information and have the correct belief in this world, the belief that was taught by Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is an obligation, this is a duty on you that Allah is doing so. And also Allah also mentioned about the story of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam in the end, and also all the messengers which has come down, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will going to question them. And the final is about the table spread, which is the meaning of Al-Maida. And we will start with ayah number 1 to 11 on this section today. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu ufu bil uqud uhillat lakum bahimatul anam illa ma yutla alaykum ghayra muhillis saydi wa antum hurum inna allaha yahkumu ma yurid. Allah is saying, O people who believe, you have to fulfill your undertakings and your covenant, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making you permitted to consume the cattle which is halal, and the one which was haram, Allah says, mentioned later on. And when you are in the state of ihram, then you should not do any hunting or gaming. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all the authority to give you the orders, and the orders also include halal and haram. This is the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make halal and haram. And while Rasulullah was in this world at the time when he was present, Allah has given him also as a unique honor of Shair Deen, which means that he can also make halal and haram because he is in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now today whatever halal and haram has been made, that's final. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la tuhillu sha'airillahi wala ash-shahr al-haram wala al-hadiya wala al-qala'ida wala min al-bayt al-haram yabtaghuna fadlan min rabbihim wa ridwana wa idha halaltum fasta'adu wala yajrimannakum shana'anu qawmin an saddukum anil masjid al-haram an ta'tadu wa ta'awanu 'alal birri wat taqwa wa la ta'awanu 'alal ithmi wal 'udwan wattaqullaha innallaha shadidul 'iqab. Now again, the second thing that Allah is saying here, a very important issue about Shairullah, the sign and symbols that will make you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will come in more detail in Surah Hajj, but Allah is saying that people who have true iman in their heart, they do not disrespect to the sign and symbols of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which has been, Allah says that the sacred months that Allah has ordained, which has been coming from the previous nations too, and those sacred months were Zulqada, Zulhijjah, and Muharram, and also Shawwal, and also Rajab. And in these sacred months there is no fighting permitted in the in the Arab land. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the Shairillah are the cattle, the animals which has been sent for sacrifice, and the animals which has something on their neck that has been worn to signify them that they are sort of restricted for Allah, and they are entrusted and they are left alone for Allah. And also Allah says the people who are going to Masjid al-Haram, you should not have any quarrel with them, and you should always try to find the forgiveness and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you come out of the state of Ihram, then Allah is allowing you to hunt and game. And Allah says that you should not have any animosity to the people who previously stop you to coming to Masjid al-Haram, that now you do injustice with them. So you should always be on taqwa and piety, and make sure that you should help each other in good, and do not help each other in anything which is inappropriate or evil. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very severe in punishment. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining the next ayah, what the other cattle which are haram. Allah says, حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةُ وَالدَّمَ وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ وَمَا أُهِلَّ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ بِهِ وَلَا مُخَنَّقَةٌ وَلَا موقوذة ولا متردية ولا نتيحة وما أكل السبع إلى ما زكيتم وما ذبح على النصب وأن تقتسموا بالإزلام ذلكم فسق اليوم يئس الذين كفروا من دينكم ولا تخشوهم واخشوني. And then the most famous ayah is coming here. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ فِي مَخْمَصَةٍ غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ الْإِثْمِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. So it's a long ayah. Allah says that Allah has forbade you from eating any animal which is dead, or forbade you the blood, the flesh of swine, and any animal who has been dedicated other than Allah's name, and any animal who died because of asphyxiation, and any animal died because of any trauma, or he fell down from a height, or if he died because of an accident or some kind of an a car hit a deer, and that deer is also haram if the deer died, or someone which has been eaten by the wild animals like lion, but except that you slaughter that animal before that animal dies, and you cut the portion which has been eaten by the wild animal. And Allah says that you should also, Allah is forbidding all the animals which has been dedicated or slaughtered on some other places of worships. And Allah also forbade you to do any kind of the gaming with arrows, and you do Qur'an. And Allah says these are all major sins. And Allah says that today, the day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is revealing this ayah, that the non-believers are completely lost the heart for you, that you may return to their deen. And Allah says, do not afraid with them. You should fear me, because I am the one who you should be fearing. And Allah says, today I make your deen complete, and I choose Islam as your final deen, and the only deen that will be accepted on the day of judgment, and it is the most beloved deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah says that whosoever is in a state of extreme despair or extreme need, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he can consume even the one that has been made haram, but the only condition is that he only consuming to live. He does not want to have taste it for fun or eat it with the full belly. And Allah says that Allah is extremely forgiving and merciful. So this is a beautiful portion about our deen, which is complete. So nothing can be added in this deen, and nothing can be taken out from this deen. Whatever has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose us, this deen is the final deen till the day of judgment. And this is the deen that Allah will accept This is the religion that Allah will accept on the day of judgment. So we as Muslims have to make sure that we know our religion the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to know, the way Rasulullah has taught us. So there should be nothing added in this deen. Whatever has been finalized and Allah has made permanent, it's permanent forever. يسألونك ماذا أهل لهم قل أهل لكم الطيبات وما علمتم من الجوارح مكلبين تعلمونهن مما علمكم الله فكلوا مما أمسكنا عليكم واذكروا اسم الله عليه واتقوا الله إن الله سريع الحساب. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that, O my beloved messenger, people ask you that what kind of animals are halal, and Allah says that all the domestic cattle are halal for you. Everything which is pure is halal for you. And in this aspect which has been mentioned, which Allah make haram, those are the only thing that has been haram. And Allah is saying that if you have the game animals that you want to hunt with, if those animals hunt for you, those hunts are also halal for you. And in the book of Sirah it is mentioned that when you let your animal go, like a dog or a hawk or some other animal which is hunting the other animal, you have to say Bismillah. And when that animal catches it, then you can consume that animal. And Allah is saying that you should have fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah is very, very quick in taking the accountability. Also Allah says, Al-yawma uhilla lakumut tayyibat wa ta'amul lazina utul kitaba hillul lakum wa ta'amukum hillul lahum wal muhsinatu minal mu'minati wal muhsinatu minal lazina utul kitaba min qablikum iza ataytumuhunna ujurahunna muhsinina ghayra musafihina wala muttakhizil aghdan وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ حَبِطَ عَمَلُهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And all the things that has permitted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are halal for you. In that it is included the actual zabhiyah of Ahl Kitab. So in the time of Rasulullah, the Ahl Kitab were actually slaughtering the animal the way the Muslims slaughter. So if an Ahl Kitab is actually doing the slaughter of that animal just like Muslims do, and also name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the time of slaughter, then it will be permitted. Not like in this day and age when the animal has been killed by artificial means and you can consume that animal which has been killed by some other way other than the word zabiha. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is permitting, this is a permission that Allah allow Muslims to marry Ahl Kitab women, but the most important requirement for it is that those women have to be pious and they should not have any illegitimate relationships, either open or hidden, and they should not be doing any fornication. And this permission is to make sure that still in the society nothing ill and nothing evil should spread. Because nowadays the fitna is that doing something illegal, like as far as the sexual relation is concerned, is far easier than having a true relationship of husband and wife. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only permitting Muslims that they can, because at that point when Muslims were conquering the land, there are so many Ahl Kitab at that point that Muslims are on top, and there was high likely chance that if a Muslim man marries a non-Muslim woman which is an Ahl Kitab, then it will be possible that she will become a Muslimah later on. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed this to happen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that you should not mix your iman with kufr, and if you do so, then your kufr will gonna ruin your iman also, and you will be the one who will be a loser on the day of judgment. Now there is a beautiful ayah about the wudu. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu iza qumtum ila salati faghsilu wujuhakum wa aydiyakum ila al-marafiqi wamsahu bi ru'usikum wa arjulakum ila al-ka'bayn wa in kuntum junubun fattaharu وإن كنتم مرضى أو على سفر أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو لمستم النساء فلم تجدوا ماء فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم منه ما يريد الله ليجعل عليكم من حرج ولكن يريد ليطهركم وليتم نعمته عليكم لعلكم تشكرون. So in this ayah there is a beautiful hadith of Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anhu, who says that whosoever do wudu, because wudu is actually a separate ibadah, and after he does the wudu and he says ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open all the 8 gates of Jannah for him. And Allah says that when you are planning to do salah, then you should do wudu first. So wudu is, another hadith is the key for salah. And Allah says you should wash your face, you should wash your arms, you should do the masa of the head, and you should wash your feet up to the ankles. And Allah says that if you have in a kind of impurity, then you have to take a full bath. But if you are sick, if you are traveling, and somebody who has gone to the bathroom to relieve himself, or someone who has make relationship with their wives, and if they cannot find water, then Allah says you should do tayammum. So it's a beautiful gift of tayammum also that Allah has given us. It's a long story that once Hazrat Aisha Radhiyallahu Ta'ala was traveling with Rasulullah, and the caravan was getting late, and she was trying to find the necklace that she had as borrower from someone, and they were not, all the people were not very happy in the caravan about this delay. So, and there was no water, but Rasulullah kept the caravan on that place for additional time. And when the camel of Hazrat Aisha raised up, the necklace was found. But in the meantime, because there was no water, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed these ayat for Muslims to do tayammum because they couldn't find the water. And it is another big blessing for the family of Hazrat Abu Bakr and our beloved mother Hazrat Aisha Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anha. And Allah says that if you cannot find water, you do tayammum, and there is nothing restricted on it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants everything for easy for you and does not want to have any burden on you. And Allah wants you to be pure, and Allah wants you to continue His blessings and ni'mah on you, so you should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَمِيثَاقَهُ الَّذِي وَثَّقَكُمْ بِهِ إِذْ قُلْتُمْ سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. And Allah is saying that you should always remember the gifts that Allah has given it to you. You should honor your undertakings and your covenant, and you should always say that whenever something is given to you from Allah and Rasulullah, you say we listen and we obey. And this is actually the definition of taqwa, and Allah knows what is in your heart. So whatever the orders that Allah is giving us as far as halal and haram, we are listening and we are completely obeying it. This is the way a Muslim should be. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu qawwamina lillahi shuhada bil qist wa la yajrimannakum shana'anu qawmin ala ta'dilu i'dilu huwa aqrabu lit taqwa wattaqullaha innallaha khabirun bima ta'malun. Now this is again the explanation of this ayah number first, in which Allah is saying that people who have restricted you to come to Masjid al-Haram in the past, you should not have any animosity with them, just forgive them. But at this point Allah is saying that you should be the one who should stand for justice. This is the part and parcel for a Muslim to stand for justice, because Allah is saying that doing justice and standing for justice is like taqwa. Is it taqwa? This is like, if you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to establish justice on this land, because this whole universe Allah created on justice. And Allah says that the people who have done injustice to you in the past, you should do justice to them, and you should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you are doing. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَهُم مَغْفِرَةٌ وَأَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ. And whosoever do the good deeds and do make actions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will find Allah's maghfirah, and he will find significant amount of reward in hereafter. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَحِيمِ. And whosoever is denying the ayat of Allah, whosoever does not respect the signs and symbols of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whosoever falsifying the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then they are the one who will end up in hellfire. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu uzkuru ni'matallahi alaykum iz humma qawmun an yabsutu alaykum aydiyahum wa kaffa aydiyahum ankum wattaqullaha wa 'alallahi falyatawakkalul mu'minun. And then this is another big blessing that Allah has given you, that at the time when the shaitan was trying to flame the war, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has restrict the war and save you from the torment of the war. And you should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is saying that in all circumstances, the true believer should put all his trust in only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to just gonna stop here, but 2 points I just want to make sure that we reiterate. Number one is that the marrying Ahle Kitab woman is only a permission given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Eating the meat of Ahle Kitab is restricted with the word zabiha. That means they have to slaughter the animal the way a Muslim slaughter and should call Allah's name on it. Wa akhiru dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.